Once again, and welcome to another video showing the Action Comics covers and talking a little bit about the stories from the 1970s, starting with issue number 421, because that's where we left off the last time. We did issue 400 to 420. This one was actually highlighted in a Facebook group that I am a member of, Captain Strong, which is basically a ripoff of Popeye. And I remember this particular character, okay, just before the crisis happened, they already knew they were going to be rebooting the series. So they went back and they basically gave a send-off to a lot of the characters and minor characters and storylines that were left open because they were going to be finishing off the this entire timeline and rebooting it. So they did bring Captain Strong back. Basically, he's a Popeye kind of character, but he as opposed to spinach being his strengthener, it's something called Sancha, if I remember correctly, and it's a weed in the ocean, which I think might even be an alien weed. And somehow, where it actually makes him, it kind of takes over his mind a bit. So he's not a bad person, but with the Sancha, he becomes power hungry, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've read these, but that's basically the storyline of that. Next, we have issue number 423, where he says that he's a villain says that he's turned Superman into a murderer. Of course, Superman never really kills anyone, so there's some trick to this. I don't remember exactly what it was. And like I said before about how the comics, how I bought these many years ago. So this is probably from like the early 70s, maybe 1973. I probably bought it in like 1980, 81, 82, maybe around that time. So the cover price is 20 cents. I bought it for $1. Now it would cost a bit more than that, I'm sure, but I don't know how much more. Again, I think I might have bought it for $1. Like I said before, these plastics and boards sometimes I just use for other things. But I see quite a few of my comics from this time period have the same $1 mark. So I think these actually might have been the price at the time that I bought it. Anyway, it's that comic, issue number 424, Gorilla Groot's Grandstand Play. I have a vague remembrance of this. Gorilla Groot, I believe, is a member of this, like, gorilla tribe, from Africa that's intelligent, and, I know there was a villain gorilla as well, but I don't think Gorilla Groot was actually the villain, though. It's been a while since I've read this, like I said. And like I mentioned before, Green Arrow became the character that has the secondary story in the Action Comics around this time. And as I said before, I think this is around like the early 70s. Let's have a look and see when this was. This comic's in pretty good shape, and I can open it pretty easily. Let's see here. The date of it is June 1973. So yeah, like I said, early 70s. So this is still before I was born, but we're coming pretty close to the time when I was born. But still, I wouldn't have bought the comics brand new the day I was born, so still I bought these comics as back issues. So let's put this back in the case and see what the next one is. Okay, hold on a moment. Let's do that. Here's issue number 425. Oh, if I remember correctly, I think there was a kid who was never outside. I don't remember why. He might have had a terminal disease, maybe, or maybe not a terminal disease, but he might have had a disease where he couldn't be exposed to any foreign germs. So I think he had to be inside the whole time. And if I remember correctly, I think that was a story. And so he thought that Superman was just a fiction because he never saw Superman. He never heard of, he's heard of him, but he really didn't think it was real. I think that was the storyline behind this one. But as I said before, I haven't read these comics in years, if not decades. So I'm kind of, I could be wrong about this. It's been a while. Next we have issue number 426 with the iconic, this is a job for Superman, with Clark Kent turning into Superman to save a plane that's going down. I don't remember exactly what this particular storyline's about. But again, we see the Green Arrow and the Human Target as the secondary characters. I mean, the characters in the secondary stories. The Human Target, it's hard to explain him. He's a person that's like a master of disguise, and if there's anybody that's in line to be assassinated somehow, he'll take their place and then catch the assassins and the villains. Kind of an interesting kind of a character, right? But But I don't think I don't. He might have had his own comic later. My only exposure were the secondary stories in these comics, and as you can see, the next one has the Green Arrow and Black Canary, who teamed up quite a bit. I think they got married at one point in the comics, I believe. So next is issue number 428. Don't remember much about this one either. Issue number 429. Oh, if I remember correctly with this one, there is a person who traveled from the future, and he came to the time period here, and he's writing a story about Superman's life. And the story would have all like the private things too, like that Superman's really Clark Kent and so forth and so on. I think that's what that premise was. I don't remember much about it. Then issue number 430. This is part of the multi-part story. I remember this alien has an alter ego, and he also lives in Clark Kent's apartment. Clark Kent lives in an apartment building, 344 Chilton Lane, I think, Chilton Street. It's hard to believe I remember that. It's 344 something. It says it there, but I mean, I remember it's Chilton something, if I remember correctly. And it's a big apartment building, like because Metropolis is kind of like a stand-in for New York City. And it seems like throughout these stories, villains, aliens, and a lot of different, a lot of different people like that turn up in Clark Kent's apartment building. So that's kind of coincidence. So that's 420. I'm sorry, 430. Here's 431, and I remember this one. What happens is they're on this alien planet, and there's I think it's a bus, which includes Clark, the alien in disguise, and a few more people. And the way it ends, and this is true actually. The alien, maybe I don't think the alien was evil in this, the way it seems to be here, and where he's fighting Superman. But Clark Kent is revealed. But it ends with basically the minds of the people here being wiped, so they don't remember the Clark Kent, the Superman, when they return to Earth. Issue number 432, the Toyman. I remember the Toyman a lot. He has these, basically, he has toys, and they're mechanized, and they attack Superman. But he's kind of like a goofier villain. But here he's here with a new Toyman. If I remember correctly, I think he actually reformed. So he's actually working with Superman here, with this new person who wants to be the Toyman, and he's pretending that he's evil again so that he can entrap the new Toyman. But I think Superman and the Toyman are working together. If I remember correctly, that's the way that storyline went. Okay, issue number 433. Don't remember much about this. I think maybe these were a husband and wife team in the Phantom Zone, which are the super villains that are from Krypton as well, but they're in the Phantom Dimension. They're in another dimension that they were put there as punishment before Krypton exploded. And I remember definitely this is what this was about. So I think that was part of the same story, issue 434. This husband, it looks kind of odd. It looks like he's just at the dentist, and the dentist and the nurse are trying to help him, but they're a husband and wife team, and they're bad guys, and they're Kryptonians, and they put some like a Krypton thing in Superman's sandwich, Clark's sandwich, because they know that Clark is Superman, and when he bites into it, he hurts his tooth. The first dentist he goes to happens to be them, and they try to knock out or maybe even kill Superman. I don't remember much about it though, but I remember that. And next is issue 435. Don't remember this storyline at all, so I can't really just talk about it. But of course, Superman's not really destroying the world, we know that. Issue 436. I think there was some kind of like elixir or formula that gave Perry White powers. I think this might be the one. Again, it's been a long time since I've read these, so bear with me, I could be wrong. Issue number 437. Now, ironically, you would think issue 400 would be the 100-page, 60-cent spectacular comic, but it's a random issue 437. I think what they really do here with these 100-page comics, though, is, if I remember correctly, the artist and the writer and everything, they basically just take off. They have a month off, and so they're reprinting old stories. It may seem like it's kind of a cheat, but in a way it's nice because, like, I mean, this comic's in the 70s. The stories are probably from the 50s, maybe, or even earlier. So I wouldn't have had a chance to get them otherwise. And even in the 70s, probably the back issues were rare enough that people, you know, it'd be easier to just read a new comic that reprints them occasionally than try to dig up the old issues. Issue number 438. I don't remember exactly what I think there was some full formula again that turned Lois Lane into a monster. I don't think she actually tried to attack Superman though, but I think that people saw her as a monster and tried to attack her because they didn't realize that who she was or what she was. That's issue 438. Next is issue 439. Again, I don't remember much about this one. Sorry. Issue number 440. Don't remember anything about this one either. Issue 441. Oh, I do remember this. The Flash, it has a cameo, not a cameo. He's a guest stars in this issue. I don't think Superman actually punches him though. But I do remember, and if anyone knows anything about the Flash and Superman, they always want to have a foot race, and I think they do have it here, or maybe it ends with them starting it if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly. Issue number 442. I remember this comic. And I remember it being like one of the first Action Comics I think I bought. Probably one of the first back issues I bought, because like this is probably from 1974. So I probably bought this when it was like maybe 5 to 10 years old. So I probably just found it in the back issue lot of my local comic store, because it wasn't very old at the time. I remember this one pretty well. And actually, what it says here is pretty true. Superman was being interviewed on GBS network, and he knew that there was a villain who was, and I think the villain was blackmailing, trying to blackmail the police. So they said that the police needed to have the ransom for a person that they kidnapped. And they needed to deliver it while Superman was on television to know that Superman wouldn't be there to stop him. But Superman, of course, was able to fly faster than a speeding bullet and leave the broadcasting company and still save the man. If I remember correctly, that was pretty much how the story happened, so that one's pretty true to the story. Issue 444. Superman didn't really murder Green Lantern. I don't remember what happened here. But the price goes up to 25 cents, so it's back to where it was before when there was a 48-page bulk comic, and it's still just a regular size. So it's probably the mid-70s when the comics went up again, and we know that they've gone up a lot more since. These next two comics I remember because of Lois Lane's attire. This one is definitely 70s. If you look at Lois Lane's attire here, issue number 445. The storyline, I think, was about a double of Superman, who didn't know that he really was a double. I think somehow Superman got cloned, if I remember correctly. But again, I just like the cover for Lois Lane's real 1970s look. Issue number 446, she actually has a retro look. Just kind of like a girl reporter look with the trench coat. Could even be the 50s, maybe not the 50s with but still, it just kind of looks retro to me. I remember these two back to back and thinking, wow, the artist really changed their look for Lois Lane. Next, we have issue number 447. Don't remember this one much at all, either. Oh, I think I do, actually. There was someone stranded on a desert island who, basically was like drawing Superman stories. I don't remember much about it though. Oh, this one, issue 448. Basically, there are these aliens that are in another dimension, and they use the Daily Planet building, the GPS building too, which is the global broadcasting systems where the Daily Planet is a part of. And the floors, in all reality, a lot of old buildings, they would skip the 13th floor because of superstition. So the floor goes from 12 to 14, but there is a 13th floor, and that goes back to the dimension that these aliens are in. Yeah, I remember this. The Earth was actually a vacation spot for these aliens. So they would pretend to be humans, and they would just visit the Earth. But there was something that was making them go not insane, but I guess insane. They would act violent. And they weren't a violent species, so Superman had to stop them from using the Earth as a vacation spot. Pretty interesting storylines. Issue number 449. Another giant issue. Don't remember much about it. But again, it's weird how the giant issue is 449 and not 450. That seems to be a landmark for a giant issue. But nope, that's not how they did it. Next is issue 450. Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. Issue 450. Don't remember much about this one. I was thinking this was the one where Superman was eating all those hamburgers because he had to keep his strength up. That must be coming up pretty soon, though, because I remember that around the same time as that cover. So let's look and see what else is coming up here. I thought I would stop there, but we can go a little bit further. We have a few more comics here. We're coming towards the time that I was born, because I remember the way the format looks here. Issue 451. I think this was a two-parter. Don't remember much what it's about, but yeah, here's 452. We don't remember much about this, except it was a two-parter. So, there you go. Issue 453. I don't remember this one at all. Oh, here's the next one. This is the one I was talking about, the burgers. Okay, issue 454. I remember this one. Somehow our Superman wasn't getting his energy from the sun the way he usually does, so he had to eat and eat and eat. It's kind of cool here. You see the retro waitresses at a burger joint. And again, this is 70s, but it actually reminds me of the 50s, because I remember thinking at the time, it reminded me of the Happy Days show, which was in the 70s, but it was a show talking about the 50s. And just the way the girls are looking here with their, I guess maybe they wouldn't wear such short skirts, but still, it just reminds me of a 50s burger joint. And the Atom is the secondary, the Atom's the superhero in the secondary story. The Atom and Green Arrow, they have a history of being the secondary heroes in the stories, and the superheroes in the secondary stories quite a while in the Action comic line. And again, here we actually have the Atom and Green Arrow. It looks like they might even be in the primary story. I don't remember if they actually are or not. Oh, I think they are. In fact, I think they are. I remember this now. Yeah, the Junkman. I do remember this. Yes, the Atom and the Green Arrow were actually in the main story. So I think this is one big story, doesn't have a secondary story. 455. Issue 456. Yes, this issue here, I just bought again because I remember as a kid, a good friend of mine, she was my best female friend. I don't know if you remember the Coppertone ads with the girl, like a really little girl, where there's a dog who is, she's in a swimsuit walking on the beach, and a dog kind of grabs the bottom of her swimsuit and pulls it down, and so you see a little bottom. Well, my friend thought that was hilarious to like draw Superman here in that sense. So she took my comic and drew on it to make it look like he didn't have like the pants on. It was kind of odd. I didn't really appreciate her doing that, especially because she didn't ask me. So, but I had the comic for years and years and years, and I finally found this pretty cheaply at a comic store. So I bought an issue where it doesn't have that. So there's 456. We're coming on the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to stop pretty soon. But here's issue 457. I think this is pretty true to life, too. There was a kid who had a terminal disease, and he wanted to know who Superman's identity was, and Superman decided to visit him and tell him. So there you are. 457. Issue number... Oh, I remember this one. Man, my tape is sticking... The plastic is sticking together. There we go. Issue 458. This was a multi-parter too with BlackRock. Basically, GBS, Global Broadcasting System, they kind of cover Superman quite a bit because, of course, Clark Kent is Superman, and he's one of the newscasters, and the Daily Planet is part of that. So their competitor, they wanted to be able to scoop the Daily Planet and GBS by having their own stories, and the editor or the one in charge tells the main reporter to make sure that you find a hero and have us get the best storyline first. Now, unbeknownst to the owner of the television station, this reporter actually uses a serum to make the owner into a hero of his own. The owner doesn't even realize it's happening. It's kind of happening subconsciously, and he becomes so full of himself that he wants to stop Superman so he can be the only hero in Metropolis. Again, it's kind of a cautionary tale. So that's BlackRock, and here's the next one in that storyline, 459. This probably would be a good place to stop because the next one is a 4 or 5-parter, but I think I'm going to go and do this one too, and then I'll stop. So let me just get these. I think it's a 4-parter. I'm going to get all these issues together here. This will be the last storyline. So let's put them together, and I'll describe this one here. This actually, I know exactly when these came out. This must be the bicentennial, so it's July 1976. So again, we're coming to when I was born. But let's see here. So it's issues number 460, 461, 462, and 463. I used to call this the, a friend of mine called it that, the Irish alien, simply because he has red hair and kind of freckles. But basically, he's from a planet where all creatures, I mean, all, you know, like his entire race, they have superpowers, but he becomes allergic to superpowers, to superpowered beings. So he takes a secret identity and he goes to the Earth. And he's from the Andromeda galaxy, so he's from a completely different galaxy. But he comes to the Earth, and he's there for a while. And unbeknownst to him or anything, Superman basically like flares up his allergies. And he's not a bad person. At first, he's just trying to like survive, so he's trying to stop Superman because I think he's from a isolated town somewhere, so he thinks that he can just like avoid Superman. But as he gets more and more sick, it's not just an allergy like a cold or a sneeze. He would die, and as he becomes more and more sick and his brain becomes more and more addled or insane, he actually tries to kill Superman. Now, in the first issue here, Steve Lombard, he might not be well known because he's not a character now. But he was he was basically like a bully. He worked at the Daily Planet, and he was a reporter. And he kind of, I wouldn't say bullied. He would kind of tease like aggressively. He would tease Clark Kent and try to like make him look bad. So he kind of bullied him, but he wasn't like a really mean bully, you know. Anyway, somehow or the alien thinks that Steve is Superman, because that's when the allergy was flaring up. I think Clark was actually nearby, but he thought it was Steve that was making it. So that's what happened there. Then the alien, with his technology, makes people in the world hate Superman, which is kind of an interesting concept. Then the next issue, again, the alien is really becoming really sickly. He has a distorted view of things. That's why you see the buildings and everything the way they are. And one of the symptoms of that like getting towards the final stage of the illness is it makes the super being also have the same symptoms. So Superman is also seeing the world in that distorted way. So they have a fight, but they're both kind of like they're a little woozy and out of it. It's hard to explain. And the final issue of that particular storyline, the alien uses a device to send Superman back to 1776, then thinking that if he's not in the current timeline, then he won't ever, affect his allergies. And he also takes away Superman's memory. But Clark, aka Superman, actually gets his memory back, and he's able to go back into the 1970s, but he doesn't. He devises a way that the alien won't be allergic to him, so it ends kind of on a good note, because like I said, the alien wasn't the bad person, despite the way the covers make him look. So we're going to end it here at issue number 463. There's a lot more to come, and I really think that a lot of the issues coming up are some of my favorites, probably because I like the storylines. They're not quite as zany as the ones from the 60s, but they're still, fun-loving storylines. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. The next time that I make a video, we'll start at issue 464, I believe, if that's the next one I have. Yep, I actually do have 464. We'll start there. And until next time, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I enjoy hearing from all of you. Thank you again. Take care.